Samurai Shodown 2019 is one of the best and most unique fighting games in the modern era. The game released back in 2019 to a lot of fanfare, and at the time of this recording is currently the most entered SNK fighting game at a major tournament with over 1,700 entrants. Unfortunately, due to the world crisis of 2020, lots of people were unable to play the game consistently, especially with the netcode, not being so good. However, at EVO 2022, SNK announced that they will be adding rollback netcode to all of the various platforms to the game, and at Evolution 2023, they confirmed the date that it will be released in September 2023. In order to celebrate the release of this magnificent title, I wanted to make a modernized beginner guide for newcomers of all kind, as well as to create a refresher course for pastime players looking to jump back in sword first. These tutorials will be a series of 4 videos to help guide you through everything from the basics to the mastery of mechanics, and even a few tips on characters to get you started. So take out your notepads, open your minds, and let's cross swords, because it's time to learn Samurai Shodown 2019. Having the knowledge to attack is only half the battle, as you'll need to know how to protect yourself from your opponent's onslaught. The path to becoming steadfast and immovable is through a structured and solid foundation. Let us begin to learn defense. Rage Explosion is a mechanic that is often used as a defensive tool and can be done by pressing A plus B plus C or light, medium, and heavy slash together. Once activated, you have full access to your Rage Enhanced normals, specials, and weapon flip technique as long as that remaining meter exists. But as you can see, after depletion, you lose all of your meter for the duration of the match, which takes away access from all of your most powerful attacks, so once again, make sure to use it in the right way. What makes Rage Explosion primarily a defensive tactic is that you can use it in between your opponent's normals and combos, interrupting them and bursting out, keeping yourself safe. While in Rage Explosion, you do gain access to one more pivotal attack, and that is called the evasion or Lightning Blade in English. Evasion is done by pressing A plus B plus C, just like you do when you activate the Rage Explosion state. And just like the namesake, it is a lightning speed dash that clears a great portion of the screen that stops your opponent in their tracks. Whether evasion hits or is blocked, it instantly finishes your rage bar and takes it away for the duration of the entire match. The last tidbit on Rage Explosion is that the more health that you have, the smaller the meter of Rage Explosion is. In contrast to the smaller health you have, the larger the Rage Explosion meter is. This is very crucial, as some players like to leave their Rage Explosion for the very last second when they need it to get out of a weapon flip or maybe an SSM or anything that can cause them the entire game. When you are knocked down in a game, you have 3 different wake up options. You can stationary get up, you can roll forward, or roll back. Having all 3 of these wake up options is a godsend and can definitely confuse your opponent if they're trying to look for something very specifically on either wake up. So make sure to mix in all of those and uncondition your opponent by conditioning them. Spot dodging or sidestepping is done by pressing A plus B or light and medium slash together. Spot dodging has full invincibility, so you want to use it to evade attacks, but more importantly, you want to use it to evade throws since they can allow for big punishes through to the massive throw recovery. Much like throws, spot dodging has a ton of recovery, so you have to be very precise on how you use it and don't get too predictable. Sword clashing is a funny situation that happens when both you and your opponent press a weapon-based attack around the same time and the clash boxes take over, causing a little mini-game where you have to mash each other out to see who keeps their weapon. The one who mashes best and has the highest counter keeps their weapon, while the loser gets disarmed. However, if it lands on the same amount of buttons pressed for both players, then you both lose your weapons. Sword clashes are extremely rare occasions, and because of that, it's really hard to practice and try to lab it. You just have to be ready to bang the controller better than your opponent. Weapon deflects and catches are two mechanics with the same exact function, to counter your opponent. Both are done with the same input of 2-3-6 or quarter circle forward and A plus B or light plus medium slash. I'll explain what makes them both different yet similar, starting with deflects. Using deflect while your opponent attempts to hit you with a normal will stun them briefly and leave them open for an attack. The duration for how long they're staggered on a light or medium attack is different, but they still leave you wide open for an SSM, so it doesn't really matter that much. However, what really matters is if your opponent uses a heavy slash or a running slash of any strength, they will be disarmed completely. Deflects are considered specials, so you can cancel into them after normals, or even on recoil to trick your opponent. Weapon catches is very similar, except you must be unarmed. What differs here though from deflect is that weapon catch disarms your opponent and sends them flying. This is yet another great defensive tool and a good option to help you get back into the game and win the fight. And last but certainly not least, one of the most important defensive tools in the entire game, the Just Defend technique. JD or Just Defend is done by inputting block as soon as an attack is about to make connection with you. It can only be done while armed. Just Defending does three things. It builds you some rage meter, it protects you from chip damage, which is also good and comes in clutch, especially when you have low health. And the third and most important thing is getting you access to the stance break move that is executed by pressing A and B right after a successful Just Defend. Stance breaks are very similar to guard cancel blowbacks from the King of Fighters series. You use them to create space between you and your opponent and either retreat or start up your pressure. Something I forgot to mention before is that Just Defend technique can also be inputted during a multi-hitting block string. And when you add that in conjunction with stance break, it can get you out of a lot of your opponent's imposing pressure. Be mindful of the time frame that you input the stance break, because if you do it so late or your opponent baits you, they can punish the recovery. And there you have it, folks, every single system mechanic from offense to defense and how to apply them. Now that we know how to play the game, there's only one final question to ask. Who do we choose as our character? The next and last video, I will go over the colorful cast and give you a tip or two on what you should be doing to utilize their abilities. See you next lesson.
That's all for now, fighters. But if you've enjoyed what you've seen, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, don't forget to follow Rome's social media pages down below. Take care, see you next time, and most importantly, thank you for watching.